Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're really focusing in. We've got this one source, excerpts from Schengen Visa, Essential Cover Letter Guide. Now that title alone, Essential Cover Letter Guide, it kind of jumps out, doesn't it?
It really does, yeah.
So mission here is to unpack why. Why is this specific document, the cover letter for a Schengen visa, called out as essential?
Right. Not just helpful, but essential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's clearly not just, another form to fill out. So the big question for you listening is, what makes this letter, which might seem pretty straightforward, so vital that it gets its own essential guide?
It's fascinating, isn't it? I mean, the fact that there is an essential guide just for this letter, that tells you a lot straight away.
Yeah. What does it signal to you?
Well, it signals its importance, its critical role in the whole Schengen visa process. It suggests this isn't just like a formality.
Yeah.
It's a piece that could genuinely swing the decision one way or the other. Make or break it, perhaps.
All right. So it's doing some real heavy lifting there. Okay, let's get into that. What is it doing? What functions does this cover letter serve that make it more than just, a summary?
Yeah, what gaps does it fill that the standard forms just, can't?
Exactly.
Okay, so think of the cover letter as your personal voice,
Yeah.
your narrative in this pile of otherwise pretty impersonal documents.
Okay.
The forms collect the facts, right? Your dates, your job title, whatever. But the letter, that gives the context. It explains your intent.
Context and intent.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's where you can proactively clear up anything that might look a bit ambiguous in your other documents, or explain something that, might just raise a question for the visa officer.
So it's not just repeating information. It's the why behind the what in your application.
Precisely.
Can you give us some examples? Like what kind of information really needs this letter to be explained properly?
Sure. So take your bank balance. The form shows a number, but the letter lets you explain how that money covers your trip. Especially, say, if there's been a recent large deposit. That might look odd on its own.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Avoid suspicion.
Exactly. Or maybe your travel history looks a bit unusual, some gaps, maybe strange patterns. This is your chance to explain why. Say you're going for a very specific cultural festival or a conference with really particular dates. You can detail that in the letter and kind of connect the dots between, like, your event ticket and your travel plan.
Got it. So it sounds like you're sort of heading off any potential worries the visa officer might have, building your case proactively.
That's a great way to put it. Building your case, you're showing you're genuine, that you plan to return home, you're not intending to overstay.
And you're anticipating their questions.
Precisely. You can elaborate on maybe an unusual job situation, or if you've had a gap in employment. And look, if you've ever been refused a visa before for any country, this is absolutely the place to address it. Don't hide it. Explain it. Explain what's different now.
Right. So it bridges those gaps where the standard forms, the checkboxes and drop-downs just can't capture the full story.
That's the crux of it. It lets you present a coherent, trustworthy narrative.
It really is about connecting the dots then, giving the visa officer the full picture, a clear understanding of your trip, your purpose, your situation, building trust, really.
Yes, trust is a huge part of it.
It's not just ticking boxes. It's telling your story effectively, making sure it aligns with what they need to see.
Absolutely. It shows you understand the visa rules and that your trip fits. Without that context you provide, even totally valid documents could be misinterpreted.
Leading to delays or worse.
Or even a refusal, yeah. So the letter is you actively advocating for yourself, for your application.
It's just amazing how one document, one that maybe feels like an afterthought for some people,
Easily overlooked.
can be so impactful.
Yeah.
So the big takeaway from just the title of our source, this essential cover letter guide, is really the sheer weight, the significance put on this letter. It really underscores that sometimes, the seemingly smaller pieces in these big complex processes
But the visa application.
are actually completely pivotal, absolutely critical.
It really brings home that saying the devil is in the details, doesn't it?
It does.
And in something like international travel, bureaucracy, those details, especially the ones you frame yourself, they can make all the difference.
So here's something for you to think about. What does it really mean when one specific part of a big system like this visa application gets singled out and labeled essential?
Yeah, what does that tell you?
What does it tell you about the focus, the level of attention, maybe the scrutiny required for that one item,
Yeah.
and maybe what it implies about the care needed for the whole process? It's a good reminder, I think, that sometimes the most crucial things aren't the most obvious ones.